Yes!
Welcome to The Know, I'm Meg Turney. Here's everything that's going on in the world of video games. A lot of jokes have been made at the expense of the Sonic franchise recently, but it's apparently not enough. I mean, me and Ryan Haywood, we tried, but apparently we didn't do enough. In an interview with Worldfolio yesterday, Sega Sammy CEO Hajime Satomi revealed Sega's plans to bring a Sonic the Hedgehog movie to the big screen. Partnering with Sony Pictures, Sega will develop the movie to expand their portfolio beyond gaming, which is a good idea considering they're basically at the rock bottom of their video game business right now. The movie will release in 2018, but the most interesting part of the announcement is that it's going to be a live-action CGI hybrid. Did you learn nothing from the Smurfs? And also Garfield. If the movie's quality is anywhere as close to the levels of awkward we saw in that super weird kiss scene in Sonic 06, this could give even the Super Mario Bros. Movie a run for its money. That's impressive. Sonic won't have to worry about Episode 8 stealing any of its thunder, considering that movie comes out in December 2017. Don't go wandering into 2018 Star Wars, I need you. But other movies are starting to clear room for Star Wars, including Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, which has been delayed from winter 2017 to spring 2018 to stay as far away from Star Wars as possible. If you don't know anything about Ready Player One, I pity you on a personal level, and also it's based on a book by the same name and sports major geek cred. The main character enters a virtual reality mystery to find a hidden fortune. Journeying through old anime, piloting starships from Star Wars and Firefly, it basically references every single nerdy movie and video game and book and everything ever. Also a ton of 80s. Steven Spielberg actually directing this movie is kind of weird because he inspired a lot of the source material in the book, so also it's weird but awesome. As for Star Wars Episode 8, that officially started filming yesterday, according to Disney CEO Bob Iger. Oh yeah. And somewhere in the world, some poor sap is already lining up for tickets, and we salute you. A new study reveals that as gamers get older, their love for competitive gaming fades the most. This comes from Quantic Foundry, who compiled data from over 140,000 gamers about the motivations for why they play. Now, according to the numbers, Father Time hits the hardest when it comes to the desire to completely trounce your Call of Duty opponents. Data also indicates that women enjoy competitive gaming just as much as men. That's a fucking given, we don't have to keep covering that. But again, it all depends on age. Apparently, every single motivation of the 12 they measured does decline with age, with strategy remaining the most consistent motivation across all age ranges. So, the older you get, the less you care about stuff. That's just a fact. This isn't to say that older gamers don't love playing games. Now, in fact, the data shows that the average of game players is sitting around 35. They should not be classed as older gamers. So for all of you who thought that was old, you just wait. 35's coming for you. Father Time eventually teabags us all. The FBI's bizarre new Don't Be a Puppet website and video game don't appear to feature any teabagging for now. Instead, the newly launched site focuses on the dangers of extremism and how teenagers can spot it. The whole thing looks like it was made in the 90s with dangling puppets and all sorts of attempts to be hip with today's youth. Mostly it tries to teach you how to spot a violent extremist in your classroom and even lets you play a sheep video game to show you the slippery slope of engaging with violent extremists. The best part of the incredibly frustrating video game is that it's played on an original Game Boy. FBI, you so hip. The whole thing is basically an exercise in torture, so, the next time you're sitting in your math class and you think you spot a terrorist, go to this waste of taxpayer dollars to see if it checks out. Fans went batshit crazy a few months back when it was announced that a sequel to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, would be a stage play put on in London. Now, of course, not everyone has a Nimbus 2000 to hop across the pond for a quick show, and if you do, you're using it for something naughty. I know you are. But even if you could, tickets were sold out in record time. But now, even us dirty muggles are going to get a chance to join in on the Pottermania this July when this play's script will be published as the 8th book in the series. It takes place 19 years after the main series and focuses on both Harry and his son Albus. What a delightfully British name. Still no word on if Donald Trump's presidential campaign is just a Death Eater viral marketing campaign tie-in, but we really, really hope. Like more than we probably should. In the realm of other things that just won't die, we've got some very interesting news regarding the 8th Fast and the Furious movie, Eddy, Why? Deadline is reporting that the next entry in the saga may cast a woman as its main villain and is eyeing Charlize Theron for the role. Guys, you gotta know what this means, right? Fast and Furiosa could happen. I live for that shitty joke. We totally predicted this a few days ago, by the way, and Hollywood, it delivered. But in lieu of Miss Theron, if, she's busy, I just want to say Universal, my headshot and reel are available. I'm totally fine with partial nudity. I'll make out with The Rock or Vin Diesel or fight them both or all at the same time. Those Fast and Furious guys and gals could soon be left in the dust by Google's self-driving cars after a new legal breakthrough. Previously, the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which determines the regulations for American roads, would not deem the cars roadworthy. Now, this was mostly due to the standards of what they consider a driver. However, they've now sent a letter to Google that their thoughts have changed, and they're willing to consider a computer or system as a driver. This does mean that soon computers could be legal drivers, which makes Google one step closer to filling our streets with driverless cars. Could you still flip them off if they cut you off? They probably won't cut you off because they're not shitty drivers. It's the best thing ever, especially because I can't drive now. Please drive for me, Google. I welcome you as my new overlord. The video game industry has seen a number of distressing layoffs this week. Wow, no segue for that, Eddy? All right, thanks. Motiga, the developers behind the upcoming Xbox MOBA Gigantic, just temporarily laid off a significant portion of its studio. Now, this comes right on the heels of Mad Catz, the video game peripheral manufacturer, laying off 37% of its staff despite having a 114% boost in sales year over year thanks to Rock Band 4. So, apparently, even though all those people got fired, someone did still make some decent money. It, of course, wasn't the CEO, Senior VP of Business Affairs, or the company chairman, because those guys all resigned right before this financial statement was released, which is, it's totally normal. They're on a beach somewhere. They have all your money. One UFC fighter is working on an exit strategy for when he inevitably has to resign from the ring. Flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson reportedly wants to retire as a Twitch streamer once he's done pummeling people into hamburger meat with his fists. Johnson currently has more than 20,000 followers on Twitch and said in an interview on the Three Amigos podcast that he started getting into streaming after his son was born when he needed something to watch while rocking him to sleep. This man punches people for a living and he rocks his baby to sleep. I love it. Right now, the fighter's favorite games to stream are Bloodborne, Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike 1.3 and 1.6, major nerd cred for you right there, and Final Fantasy XIV. However, one of the highlights of Johnson's streams came when his stream was interrupted by UFC drug testers. Word of advice though, for everyone out there, if you run into that guy online, don't challenge him 1v1 or IRL, because he'll pummel you. OMG BBQ style. Lastly, science has given us a lot of frightening things, but now they're working on zombie rabbits. Everything's gonna be great. A rabbit's brain was returned from cryopreservation this week, marking the first time that a mammalian brain has been successfully reanimated. During the process, a chemical was inserted that cooled Roger's brain to the temperature of -211, which is roughly the temperature of Gus's heart, and then was brought back with all processes completely preserved. This is a major step up from the current method, which has been criticized for causing too much damage to neural processes. This means that we're one step closer to preserving frozen human brains for reanimation, which is totally useful for like legitimate stuff, like long-term space travel, but also for starting a zombie apocalypse, or maybe a real-life version of Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man, which I am all for because he showed dong in that movie. So what do you guys think of all this news? Do you plan on being the first in line for Sonic? Of course you don't. Would you 1v1 Demetrius Johnson? Wouldn't recommend it. And who else is hoping for a future Demolition Man? Me! Show me his dong. For all the latest in the world of geeky news and for Universal to continue to evaluate me for Fast and the Furious, like this video and subscribe to the Now. I imagine my audition would be like, hello, I'm here for Fast and Furious. Let me get another box. I could stand next to a rock. I'll be on 2 boxes. I'll show my boobs.